Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily. It's Des here. Just checking in for some midweek motivation. Wednesday workout. Wow, it's Wednesday already. Absolutely flying through Christmas week, aren't we? Can't believe how quickly it's going. But thankfully, I've finished my work now. Like I've said already, I'm just going to be doing DOdaily through Christmas, so it's nice to get a drink. Done my activity today, but of course I'm here to encourage you guys to get involved, do your activity if you can. It is a bit of a wet, windy, miserable Wednesday, but trying to keep that spirit going, trying to keep everybody on top of things, and whilst everything's going a bit wrong around us in terms of what we can and can't do, the COVID situation and Christmas Day, it's important to keep ploughing through it, keep doing whatever we can, trying to do the things that we know work all year round, and this is definitely one of them, isn't it? You can get out, if you're not feeling fantastic, get out, get for a walk, get some fresh air, get that wind and rain in your face, and I can assure you it'll do the trick. If you're a bit busy, if you've been working hard, I've been waiting for this moment. I finished at lunchtime. Been waiting for this moment to sort of kick back a little bit, sit back, but I got out early this morning and do my activity. So if you've been busy, if you're a bit tired, a bit stressed with Christmas week, the next few days, what you can and can't do, just get out for a walk, guys. Get out, if you can get out for a run or on the bike, anything like that. It'll just really sort of set you up and get you focused on what you need to do, and that's really important, isn't it? This week I've been talking a lot about looking forward to Christmas. I mentioned last week that I was going to be looking forward to Christmas, and then after Christmas kind of reflecting on the year before looking forward to the new year. So I think it's with all that disappointment that come, of course it was unexpected, but it was and over the last few days I've spoken about that a lot, but I kind of wanted to talk about looking forward today and making the most of the situation. Most people who know me know that this time last year I went into hospital for an operation, and whilst it wasn't it wasn't a complicated operation, it was pretty straightforward. It was almost guaranteed I was going to be okay, but you never know, and it was a concerning time for me. I'd been in a lot of pain throughout December, and it was actually today a year ago, so it really sort of ruined my Christmas. Whilst I tried to make the most of it then as well, it ruined what I was looking forward to in more normal times. So a lot of my positivity this year has kind of come from that. I was thinking about it today, and I think coming through that operation, coming out the other side, realising I'm going to be okay, made me understand that we're not invincible, and it completely changed my mindset. Just knowing that, I'm sure we all know that deep down, but just getting that feeling that I might not have been there at the end of it. As with any operation, things can go wrong, but sort of getting that feeling that I might not have been there, and it almost made me feel like to live every day like it's your last, and that's what we've got to do, haven't we? Life's a precious commodity. We've got to make the most of every day, and we've got a difficult situation right now. Lots of people are suffering, and I've offered my sympathy for that this week. I've spoke about a lot how we've got to understand people. We've got to accept that people deal with things differently. It's like a pain barrier, isn't it? It's like a pain threshold. We all deal with things in different ways. We're creatures of emotion, not logic sometimes, and it's important to remember that. But what I also think is it's important to look forward, and that's what we've got to start doing. We've got to get over that disappointment now. Look forward to it the best way we can. Keep going, keep doing the things we do. All the activity, all the getting out in the fresh air, I didn't particularly feel like it this morning, but I ploughed through it, got it done, and I felt much better after for it. Did my work this morning, finished, ticked it all off, signed off, logged out, and I feel fantastic for doing that. So it's important to sort of look at those little small wins along the way, finishing for Christmas, if that's what you're going to do. there's lots of people out there who work every Christmas. This year we've all said thank you to the NHS. Do you know, there's lots of other servicemen and women that will be out there and won't really have a choice, and they're on the front line almost, aren't they, with the COVID situation, and of course the way it's kind of kicking in again. So I think it's just important to try and make the most, because the one thing I have learned this year is, if you think the worst, generally the worst happens. Do you know, it's, if you think positive, do you know, there's been a couple of examples where myself and Kay, we've had a lot to deal with, we've had a lot thrown at us, we've had things to be worried and concerned about. But if you think the worst, it's always going to happen, because you're always going to be waiting for it to happen. I mentioned a few weeks ago, I think I was at Bestwood Lodge on a Friday morning, where I spoke a lot about worry and stress, do you know, and it's actually been researched and looked into, and only, well, as much as 85% of worry goes unfounded, you know, is for no reason. And that's crazy, isn't it? When we're living in a stressful time, you know, we have to adhere to rules, we have to miss out on things, we have to forgo things for the time being, but it's not worth worrying about sometimes, because at the end of the day, we'll get all those things we want, we'll get through it, you know. And like I say, like I was saying there about myself, you know, my outlook's changed so much since that operation, you know, feeling like I might not have been there changed everything for me. I think I wanted to help, I'd already started doing some of the things I do now, but I kind of pushed myself further out my comfort zone to do things I want to do. You know, I wanted to do a video, I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the confidence in the way I speak or the things I say, but, you know, by thinking, what the hell, you know, push ahead and do it, let's just get out there and do it. And it's something I've done, it's something I've really enjoyed, it's something that makes me extremely proud of myself, you know. And without that situation last year, without sort of something coming along, and I guess what I'm getting to this, sometimes it takes the worst situation to sort of bring the best out in us, and it shouldn't have to, should it? You know, we can keep working at this. We all understand what we have to do deep down to sort of push forward, to be happy, to be strong and capable, you know, just to sort of prepare ourselves right, to plan things in, to make ourselves accountable. You know, we're all going to sit back and we're all going to slump and fall back into a rut and worry about things and stress. Don't get me wrong, despite everything I've said, I still do that now. But it's about preparing yourself the rest of the time to be happy, you know, to look forward to what you've got, to accept what you've got. Personally, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, we've not got many things material, and that's absolutely fine, because I've learned that the best things in my life come for free, and they don't cost anything anyway. You know, doing group sessions last night, and an amazing solidarity session, lots of people out. I got to see some friends again. I realised that's one of my best sort of friends I've not seen, by the way, but that's one of my best runs, most enjoyable runs in the last couple of months, because I got to do it with friends. And that's the free group that we do in normal time. So when you realise that these things are the most important, when you realise that by throwing yourself into things, looking forward to things, you know, if things come too easy sometimes, we don't get that feeling anyway, we don't feel fantastic. So it's just about sort of changing that mindset a little bit, being a bit more focused, you know, understanding what makes you tick. That's exactly what I've done. As much as I love the running club side of things, as much as I love doing running and everything I did before my operation last year, this year I've taken it in different directions. I really enjoy that. But even yesterday, it reminded me how much I love what came before that operation, and how much focus, when we can, I've got to put back into that, because it was absolutely fantastic. But that doesn't mean I'm going to change anything. It makes me busy, makes me determined, focused. You know, nothing's being handed to me easy here. I've got to work for every sort of break and every opportunity. But that's not a problem, because I wouldn't want it any other way. And sometimes we just have to remember that if that's within our character, if we want to sort of achieve things, if we want to do things, if we want to sort of pat ourselves on the back at some point. Do you know, we have to work hard, we have to be strong and forward thinking, and that's definitely what we've got to be this week, isn't it? I started out by saying I can't believe it's Wednesday already, but that's because it's been busy. It's because I've had lots to do. I started the week by saying I've got lots to do. There's no relenting, and even though I've kind of finished, I still plan to do a lot of work tomorrow to try and create something for DOdaily. You know, I'm looking at something a bit different. I'm not going to say too much because I'm not sure it's going to come together how I want it to, but hopefully it does, fingers crossed, and it'll be a bit of a DOdaily Christmas special. So I'll be working on that, and whilst I say I finished, I'm not, because I'm obviously working on that, but that's enjoyable. That's something I want to do. I'm going to make sure I get everything else done today, you know, so I can sit down tomorrow, enjoy some time. I'll get out there and do my activity. And of course, Wednesday workout's all about the challenge. I can't sort of finish today without mentioning that. It's really important to keep pushing on. Just if you've not been out today, you've got three days left. If you have been out, just the 2. Absolutely fantastic efforts. I've really enjoyed this challenge, and again last night people talking to me saying how much it's made a difference to them, and that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? It's just that accountability. It's just thinking what you're going to do, planning things in, and it makes everything else fall into place. That's what Tuesdays are about. I talk about a solidarity session a lot, and the reason I talk about it is because I know some people don't get it. Some people don't understand the point of being out at the same time. It's to make something happen, to make sure you do it, to make sure you're feeling part of something. And when we get those kind of feelings of being part of something, achieving, it's absolutely fantastic. And of course it creates spirit as well. On Monday I mentioned that we were going to look at trying to be generous to somebody, trying to do generous things. Do you know, I mentioned yesterday I actually bought 5 coffees from McDonald's. There was 99p each, do you know, and I kind of walked around for 10-15 minutes, only 10-15 minutes, and found 5 people to give them to, which is sad in itself, but it was definitely worthwhile. And I don't want to sort of say that to show off or be arrogant, or because it's just something that I feel strongly about, something I can't do more for right now. I'd love to do more. This time last year, just before my operation, we ran an event which raised funds for the homeless. I wanted to make that an annual thing, but I couldn't because everything's happened. But I'm not going to get put off by that. You know, going to think how we can do it bigger and better in the future and give it another go. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about sort of working with what you've got, understanding that this situation is not going to be here forever. Don't get me wrong, I've just watched the press conference and it doesn't sound great, but if we do what we have to, if we look after ourselves and each other, you know, keep getting out there, keep working on being physically strong, you know, it'll build a bit of mental strength. You know, we all know that if we're not physically fit and we're tired and we're lethargic, we make poor decisions, which of course spills into the mental side, you know, and it's something I'm really sort of keen to stay on top of, particularly this week. You know, there's lots of people who will suffer in different ways. So if we can do whatever we need to do, get out there, get some activity in. You know, it's Wednesday. You might just need that push to push on for the end of the week. Like I say, I'm working on something different because I also believe that laughter and enjoyment is all part of Christmas. And whilst we're alone, you know, it might just help somebody. Not many people tend to watch DOdaily. It's a slow burner, but if it helps one person, then why not? And of course, on Friday, on Christmas morning, I've got a location in mind because I've really sat back and thought about it, and then I'm going to meet some friends to run early on. So it's important for me to do all those things to hopefully keep you guys entertained just a little bit. You know, let's keep pushing on, guys. Let's keep going for it. You know, we've got the weekend after that to sort of sit back and reflect on Christmas, you know, and sort of bed in with the way it's going to be for the next few months maybe. But for now, let's have a good time, let's have a laugh, you know, and let's stay on top of things. Give it a go, guys. I've always said it's even more epic in the rain, so get out there and get in some activity. Until tomorrow, just doing it.